Well, good afternoon, hockey fans, and welcome to the Member 2 Sports Center here for this Sunday afternoon matinee between the WearWell Bombers of New Glasgow and the Jonljim Cougars. They're normally based out in North Sydney, but because of the big craft show going on up there this weekend, they come down to Member 2 for a pair of home games here in Nova Scotia Under 15 Major Hockey League action. Their first game of the weekend doubleheader here at home for the host Cougars ended in a shootout loss to the Truro Bearcats, a very close game in which the Cougars led for most of it, but they cannot bring home the full 2 points. They picked up 1 point, though, with the shootout loss, and that's enough to vault them into a tie for 6th place in the 12-team Under 15 Major Hockey League here. But they will face a major challenge as the Bombers, the second-place team, rolls into town. The Bombers are winners of 9 straight league games, and the Cougars have to contend with some serious Bombers weapons, including Cohen Little, second in the league in scoring, as well as Connor Grace, another player to really keep an eye on here, third in league scoring, the highest scoring, the leading scorer amongst D-men in the U15 Major Hockey League here in Nova Scotia right now. And he's coming off a 3-point effort yesterday in Halifax as the Bombers beat the Wolverines on the road 4-3, making the 4-hour trek here to Member 2 to cap off their weekend road trip against the Cougars, and what is sure to be a good one and a good test for both teams here this afternoon in Member 2. So let's meet today's starting goaltenders. Over in the net to your right, we have Mason Gunn between the pipes for the visiting Bombers. Gunn is 4-1 on the season and has the 5th best goals against average metric at 2.63, the 5th best in the U15 Major Hockey League. Now for the home team, Lane Wambach gets the start today. He's been finding a way to win for this Cougars team. He is 3-2 on the season and sports a .393 goals against average. Ty Timmins coming off a big game for the Cougars yesterday. That included a goal, and he takes the opening face-off and wins it as we get underway here in Member 2. The host Cougars to your left in the blue, and the WearWell Bombers sporting the road whites here in this U15 Major Hockey League matchup. And in hot pursuit of that puck for the Bombers is Jackson McDonald wearing number 19 for the visitors. The puck is kept in there. That was Brett Cormier wearing number 27. He is an imposing presence of that Bombers blue line and a big part of why they've been so dominant on the back end here this year. Definitely a blue line to envy in this U15 Major Hockey League. And it's Cormier curling around with the puck as that hit a set of skates and bounced back into the Bombers as the first shift of the hockey game is in the books and both teams make a change. And we have a delayed penalty coming up here against the Cougars as the goaltender Mason Gunn bolts for the bench, and the Cougars will touch up as somebody will head to the box here. And we just a minute into the hockey game, we will have our first look at the Bombers power play. And the Bombers certainly score a lot of goals. They have the second and third leading scorers here in this league. And we'll see one of them taking the draw here. There's Cohen Little. He's second in points. He has 29 points this season in 11 games. And he wins the faceoff back to his defenseman, Brett Cormier. Cormier over to his right has Connor Grace. Cormier over to McDonald on the wall. Little is set up there in the bumper spot in the slot, but he can't get it up to Connor Grace. Grace is the leading scorer amongst D-men in this league. As McDonald puts it to the net, it's a good save, and on the rebound, stopped and kept out McDonald on the backhand. It is, oh, what a diving save. That was incredible stuff. What a start here for Lane Wambach. An absolute rugby scrum of a play there. The puck kept coming in and out of the goaltender's crease as the Bombers poured on all the offensive pressure. And he went full Superman mode there as Wambach made a diving stop on the rebound off to his left post. And this one stays scoreless for now. But the Bombers still have a minute 27 left on this power play, and they'll win the draw again. Goes back to Cormier. It's down low for Jackson McDonald. The bumper shot to Grace, and it's padded away there by Wambach. He has been sharp to start this game. With still only 2 minutes of this game have gone by, but definitely a lot of action here so far, aided by this Bombers power play. Jackson McDonald feeds back to Cormier. Finds Connor Grace. It's over on the far side point with Cormier camping out up top. Stepping in, here's the shot from the far side. That was Spencer Anderson looking high. Anderson can really fire that puck, but ready for that with the glove is Wambach as the power play and penalty kill units change up for these teams. 49 seconds remaining in the minor penalty to the Cougars' Avery Johnston. Spencer Anderson taking that face-off for the power play unit for the Bombers, and he'll come away with the puck. Connor Grace is up top, back to Anderson. That hit a stick going in, but shouldering that puck off is Wambach, and the puck is cleared down the ice, much to the delight of the home fans here in Member 2. 33 seconds left on this Bomber power play. Spencer Anderson leads the rush in on the far side boards. Anderson goes in down low. Receives a return pass with Connor Grace waiting up top. Down in low is Isaac Swain playing down along the boards. Connor Grace walks in. He fires a very hard wrist shot up and over top of the net. They've gone close here a couple of times as Spencer Anderson tries to work that up to his teammate, but he's a little too aggressive with it, and the Cougars come away with the big penalty kill here early in this hockey game. Connor Grace, he had 3 points yesterday, including a goal against the Halifax Wolverines down in the provincial capital. He takes it all the way himself down to the other end and joins the rush with his forwards, and he gets the puck back there again. The no-look backhander goes down into the corner for Eli Woolley. Woolley is in a puck battle there with the Cougars captain, Sam Graves. Graves had an assist yesterday in yesterday's shootout loss here in Member 2 to the Truro Bearcats. The Cougars trying to come away some more points here in a big weekend as they ice the puck. And the face-off will come all the way back down to Lane Wambach's right. No goals yet in this first period here in Member 2. A very good power play opportunity here for the Bombers. But they could not convert on it, much in thanks to the heroics of Lane Wambach making a diving save early in that opportunity. But the Bombers are going to keep the offensive pressure on. They've been all down in the Cougar zone here early in this game, as jumping on the puck there on an aggressive forecheck was Ty Bowden. But covering that up without much other harm was Lane Wambach in net. These teams met once so far this year. They played in New Glasgow on November 9th, and suffice to say the Bombers dominated that one. They won by a score of 9-1. Connor Grace, the defenseman, had 2 goals and 3 points in that game. Ty Bowden had 3 points of his own. The only player to score in that game was Cohen Geyser for the Cougars. And they're not going to have him today or for the next 8 games, as Geyser is out for a lengthy suspension. So the Cougars really have to find some sources of secondary scoring here, as Geyser leads the team in scoring right now. As stepping in is Lachlan O'Neill, fires the puck. He just missed the glove side of Mason Gunn. Rebound bounced around to Kellen Buckley, the centerman wearing number 12, as O'Neill tried to deflect that McLeod point shot on net, but that again skipped wide of the net as the Bombers work it on out of the zone here. Isaac Swain is the lead forechecker for the Bombers as his teammates make a change. Lachlan O'Neill lost it in his skates, and settling that down are the Bombers. The captain, Cohen Little, the team's leading scorer as well, drops it off for Grace, down to Little. He's down the corner with the referee and tried to swing it around to his teammate there, Swain, in out toward the net. He's on that line, joined by Spencer Anderson wearing number 12, who throws the hit. Leaned to rush up the other way, looking for that pass to Avery Johnston, but he missed the pass and took a body check as Mason Gunn played it off to his teammate. Cohen Little tried to get a rush going there, but it was Zenon Parks of the Cougars dumping that puck back in down low, as Jonljim tries to establish some zone time here and perhaps get a couple of scoring chances. They had a 2-on-1 rush just a moment ago, resulting in a big save from Mason Gunn. Ty Timmins looking for that puck in the corner as that shot goes errantly wide and around the boards to Sam Graves, the captain for the Cougars. In pursuit of that puck down low goes Timmins. He's joined on that line by Johnston and Luke McNeil wearing number 15 for the Cougars. He had a goal yesterday. The shots are 7-1 in favor of the Bombers. They had a few on that power play opportunity there earlier. Couldn't convert yet. Leading the rush by himself out of the zone. It's Brett Cormier. He gets it all the way out to the blue line before Luke McNeil forces a turnover for the Cougars. Now examining his options was Dylan Berry on the Cougars' blue line. It's a battle along the wing boards as Dixon slams it back down the other way, and the Bombers can't quite get the breakout to materialize here yet, and that pass misses everybody. And it will be an icing call charged to the WearWell Bombers and a face-off all the way back down in their zone. Ryan Ross will take that face-off in the defensive zone for the Bombers. Was instead won by Kellen Buckley of the Cougars. And that led to a shot, but it was padded away there by the goaltender Gunn. Buckley tried to work it back in. He's down there with Lachlan O'Neill looking for that lead pass, but goes back the other way for the Bombers. Here comes Ross. He walks through everybody. He's padded away. And with a wide open net was Austin Reed, but he fanned on the shot and the puck rolled wide. A great opportunity there for the Bombers. They've had a couple very good looks here early in this game. Taking the check up the middle of the ice there was Dylan Dixon trying to get the rush going there for the Cougars. Blowing a tire behind the net. Linus Braun. Braun 4th on the team in scoring, 2nd amongst defensemen. Very active with the puck on his stick. There's a lot of mobility on this Cougars blue line. And it's the outlet pass for Lachlan O'Neill. He comes along the right side. Avery Johnston has a look, and it's off the toe of Mason Gunn's skate as he made a big save there. Back to Linus Braun. He's going to walk to the middle and walk around. He's got some room in the slot. There's a rebound. It was padded away again. Another big save for Gunn. Some pressure now here for the Cougars in the Bomber zone. McLeod off a stick. The rebound. Here's the shot. Ty Timmins had a look there, but that is off a body and wide of the net. O'Neill up for Timmins. Great shift here for the Timmins line. But now the Bombers get some daylight and come back out the other way on the left side. Here's Woolley. Curled back for Jackson McDonald. Saved by the blocker of Wambach. Brett Cormier keeps it in the zone for the Bombers, and that is up and high and out, and it has some energy. But the icing is waved off. Cormier's back hard on the back check. Long outlet pass. Here come the Cougars. It's onside. There's the shot. Jumping up on the play was Vinny Sims. He's looking for his first point of the season, the defenseman for the Cougars. Back to Sam Graves, his D partner. Fires that high and wide over the net. Cougars trying to get this breakout going. Or rather, the Bombers, as the Cougars have had a couple shifts in control down in the Bombers' defensive zone. But now here comes WearWell. Cohen Little walks through. He's hooked. No call on the play, however, as the Cougars defensemen prevent a scoring chance. Taking a big hit there. Spencer Anderson threw a Cougar into the boards as the play comes to a stop here into the neutral zone. Anderson with a couple of big hits there. He's a physical presence for this Bombers team. The clear up off the glass. Anderson dumps it in, and his teammates will go for a change. 5:14 remaining in this first period. Still scoreless, but here's the pass to Little. Got the shot up. He scores! Cohen Little doing what he does best, and that's scoring. That one will give him the league lead in goals. It's his 18th of the season, and the WearWell Bombers open the scoring here in Member 2. Just barely got by here, and I think Lane Wambach thought he had the puck in his glove. It just barely trickled across the goal line there. But they don't ask how, they ask how many. And Cohen Little, the captain for this Bombers team, and one of the league's leading scorers, will open up the scoring here in this hockey game. 1-0 for the new Glasgow-based Bombers. Out to play that puck is Wambach. Leaves it for Spencer Anderson. He'll loop out front, and it's a big save for Wambach, an important one to follow up that goal. Hold the Bombers at bay for now. Cohen Little in with the check in front of the Cougars bench. It's a contention there, 2-on-2 battle for the puck, and it comes out. Possession not yet defined, but the Bombers will try to do something with it. Cohen Little gets it across the line, but not enough as it pops back out again, with the Bombers going offside. With that one, Cohen Little will again tie himself for the league lead in scoring and points. That's his 30th of the season. It ties him with Bowen Cranston of the Gulls for the league lead. Cohen Little has 18 goals on the year with that one. One ahead of Cranston's 17. Out of that net, the play is Mason Gunn, leaving Cormier out on the breakout. D-to-D looking for that stretch pass for Clayton McIntosh up the boards. The Cougars will intercept and take the puck back down into the O-zone. Elijah Little takes a check in behind the board from Timmins. Cormier went to bail him out, and he worked it up to Austin Reed, his winger on the boards, and the return pass. But we have a whistle in behind the play. It's going to be a penalty to somebody. It's a head contact call. It appears the Bombers are going to be charged with a 2-minute minor on this one, and we'll get our first look at the Cougars power play here this afternoon in Member 2. Elijah Little penalized with a head contact minor. 3:57 remaining in the opening frame. Cohen Little has opened the scoring for the WearWell Bombers. But now the Bombers will have to kill off their first penalty of the afternoon, as Sam Graves keeps it in for the Cougars. Out there on that power play unit with Ty Timmins, who's penning the puck down the corner with his line mate Avery Johnston. And working that puck up the boards is Dylan Barry. Barry leaves it and tried to get the shot through, but is off a body. Barry up for Linus Braun up at the top of the boards. And Graves, although he couldn't hold the puck, he threw a very heavy hit there on the Bombers penalty killer. And those units will change as the puck comes out. 1:22 left on the Cougars' first power play of the afternoon. Still looking to get set up. Here comes Sam Graves. The captain, Graves, tried to cut it to the net, but he's taken down. He can't get the shot. The rebound, Timmins was in hard on the net, and Johnston was right there too. And the shot from the perimeter is off a blocker and wide. Comes back up to Linus Braun at the top of the slot. And that's off a body again, and it missed the net. But now it comes over to a Bombers killer coming up the other way. And on the breakaway, cutting in, here comes Anderson. Tried to go low, in a big save there by Wambach. And that's a crucial one, a very close chance for the Bombers as they hope to register a shorthanded goal. But standing tall again, and that is Wambach, who has been playing very good to start this game for the Cougars. 30 seconds still left on this Cougars power play, and they can't get set up there as the puck is cleared out to the opposing blue line. They have to get set up again. Cutting in, here comes Kellen Buckley, almost at a 2-on-1. Good stick there on defense by Miles McDaniel, wearing 26 for the Bombers, and it's clear back out the other way. The penalty charge to Elijah Little about to expire for the Bombers, as they will kill off this penalty. A big kill for the Bombers following up that goal. A couple good looks there for the Cougars, but they could not find a way yet to beat Mason Gunn in net. 1:54 remaining in this first period. Face-off will be to the left of Gunn. Zenon Parks taking the face-off for the Cougars. Cohen Little for the Bombers in his own zone. And it is Little winning the draw. His winger is back to get in, is up off the glass and out to center ice. Holding that line is Linus Braun. Zenon Parks will cut in. He'll go in one-on-one against Cormier, and he takes a hit along the boards and goes down. So line mate will bail him out there as O'Neill curls around and finds Braun at the point. Braun played back and forth with O'Neill, but it's off a skate and out of the zone as Ryan Ross leads the rush up the other way for the Bombers. He's going to spin off a guy, but is taken off the puck by Braun. The Cougars will work it out to the blue line. Zenon Parks on the close side boards, and that's off a stick. Here comes McNeil. Luke McNeil gets the puck to the net, and it's off the pad of Mason Gunn and wide. Zenon Parks will keep that in down into the corner. McNeil has the puck behind the net. Swings up to the opposite side, D-man. Graves with the shot. Off a body and wide. Elijah Little went for the clear for the Bombers, but couldn't get it very far as Graves tried to cut in and get the shot off. He has some daylight. The shot, the rebound. Another big save there by Mason Gunn. That time it was Alex Boner with the scoring chance in close. And as a hit is thrown, Cormier takes it out the other way. 40 seconds left in the first frame. McIntosh takes it in for the Bombers, but there's some tired legs out there for the New Glasgow team, so they will get a line change in. But they're going to hold it in the other way. And the Cougars will cut out a late period scoring chance potentially. It was Ethan Marsh going in for the Cougars as the puck came out unabated out front. But the Bombers will get the puck out of harm's way. Connor Grace, the defenseman, rimmed it out, and it worked out favorably for him as the icing is waved off. Here's a chance for the Bombers on the puck. Right there at the end of the period was Ty Bowden in low, but nothing else happens there as we come to the end of the first period. And who else to score for this Bombers team but Cohen Little? He's tied for the league lead in points. Nobody else in the U15 Major Hockey League this season has more goals than Little. That's his 18th. And that's the only one of the first frame here as the WearWell Bombers lead by a score of 1-0 here in Member 2. Shots after the first period are 11-9 in favor of the WearWell Bombers. They dominated the first half of the first period, but the Cougars got a few good looks on the offense there in the second half of the first frame. But the Bombers are gonna get a break here as they will go to the power play. There was a late period penalty against the Jonljim Cougars there. And it will be Marty McLeod, the defenseman for the Cougars, going to the box. So the Bombers will get the power play unit on here for the second time today. They had an early first period power play in which they came close to scoring. But we've seen a good game here so far from the Cougars netminder Lane Wambach, and he'll have to stand tall here again if he wants to keep his team in this game, as it's an offside call here against the Bombers as they tried to get set up in the opposing zone. It's Cohen Little taking that face-off for the Bombers. Instead, Kellen Buckley, the penalty killer for Jonljim, wins the draw. His defenseman Sam Graves tried to clear that up off the glass and out of the zone, but the snapper was a little too high. Goes off the mesh, and the face-off will come into the Cougars' end. Face-off to the right of Wambach. And it'll be won by the Bombers. Brett Cormier out there on this power play unit with Connor Grace, two defensemen. Cormier goes in down for Jackson McDonald playing the far side hash marks. And that is a heavy shot up high from Cormier, but goes over the net. Connor Grace holds the puck in for the Bombers. Cohen Little curls to the top of the slot. Has Cormier behind him, but goes to McDonald on the far side boards. Back to Cormier. He looks at his options. Two Bombers battling in front of the net. Jackson McDonald looking for some room. It's a heavy puck battle in front. And that a man is taken down as a big save was made by Wambach and is cleared. Ty Bowden, 5'11", 180 pounds, was really fighting with the Cougars defenseman penalty killers there and went down in it. There was no call. Some fans weren't very happy about that as Cormier walks in for the Bombers. Couldn't hit his man out front on the centering pass, but Jackson McDonald picks it up, and the Bombers are set up again. 37 seconds left on this Bombers power play. Cormier at the top of the point, and it's a centering pass there from Connor Grace, but couldn't find anybody. And again, the puck is cleared down, and the Cougars will change up their penalty killing units. 23 seconds left on that penalty. Spencer Anderson. He's had a couple good looks this game as well. He possesses a heavy shot and tried to get shifty with it, but not taking the bait was Dylan Barry, the defenseman for the Cougars, who will clear it down as the power play winds down here. Spencer Anderson, it's a 2-on-1, joined by Clayton McIntosh. Anderson taken on by two Cougars there. The shot on net, it was low, but padded away. Ready for that was Wambach. Curling in front. McIntosh tried to set up his man, but the shot didn't go anywhere. All the way back to the line for Ryan Ross. It's off a skate, and getting that out is Ty Timmons for the Cougars. Stays onside, leaves for Johnston. He tried to throw it high, but it goes up and over the net for no scoring chance. But keeping that puck in, bounced on over right off the bench was Alex Boner for the Cougars, but they couldn't control it. Clay McIntosh leads the puck in on the close side boards. He is hit by a pair of Cougars there and has gotten back out on the other side. There's Spencer Anderson for the Bombers. It's held in. He's out there with his line mate Isaac Swain. Nobody home on the close side boards for the Cougars, but a man gets over and gets it out. It was Luke McNeil looking for Alex Boner up the middle of the ice. Elijah Little comes back on the back check for the Bombers, is cutting in. Here's a chance here for Austin Reed. Reed looking for his man out front, Reed Frazier. The Reed line for this Bombers team is out front. Oh, an excellent chance for Ryan Ross, but it was off a man there. And that was a big shot block by the Cougars defenseman. Dylan Barry, a valuable defenseman for this team, was favoring going off the ice here after blocking that shot, as his teammate Linus Braun puts it up off the glass and out to center ice. 16:15 left in this second period. No goals yet in the period. It's still 1-0 after the first period goal from the Bombers' Cohen Little. The Bombers controlling most of the play so far early in this second frame, including a power play that didn't produce any goals. And here comes Linus Braun going in as he got in a tight one-on-one battle there, but the puck will roll off his stick and will be scooped up by Gunn for the face-off off to his left side. The Cougars playing their second game of a weekend at home here in Member 2. They usually play up in North Sydney, about a 20-minute drive here north of the Sydney Member 2 area. But they have the big Christmas craft fair this week, so that rink is out of service. So although they are down here, the Cougars have been drawing a good home crowd, and there is no exception here today for the Sunday afternoon matinee game here in Member 2. As cutting in is Bowen, Ty Bowden. Tried to get the puck on through. They aren't the biggest defensemen, but the Cougars' defense line is definitely stingy as they clear the way for the goaltender Lane Wambach to make the save on that shot through traffic from Miles McDaniel of the Bombers. The Bombers will change up their forward lines and D pairings. Face-off will be to the left to Wambach on the close side there. Jackson McDonald taking the face-off now for the Bombers, but it is won by Timmins of the Cougars, and Jonljim comes back up the other way. Lead pass for Avery Johnston. He's on the left side, and he takes a heavy hit after the block there by Blair Whittemore, the defenseman for the Cougars, or for the Bombers, as the Cougars shoot it wide. McLeod battling for that puck. And they can't hold it in as the Bombers get it up and across the line as Spencer Anderson throws a hit on a Cougar at center ice. Reed gets that puck out. Here comes Jackson McDonald. He can skate. Anderson looking for that high corner, goes up and over the net of Wambach. Bombers hold it in, but they have to contend with a bouncing puck here, and the Cougars will get it just enough out there. It's been a physical one so far. Some big hits coming from players on both sides, as Brett Cormier tries to buy some time for his forward lines on the Bombers to get a change in. Spencer Anderson deflects it in down low out there with Jackson McDonald at the end of a shift. And the Cougars come back out the other way, trying to step through there. It's Alex Boner out front for McNeil, and he couldn't corral that pass to get the shot off. Back to the point for Barry, that's off a stick, and out to the front. The puck was loose there for half a second for a Cougar, but it was off a shin pad and out as Spencer Anderson clears it on the dump and chase and goes for the change. Dylan Dixon trying to get this breakout started for the Jonljim Cougars. Bounces over to Lachlan O'Neill at the opposing blue line, but he is offside as Alex Boner thought he saw an opening. But the play is blown dead with 13:46 left in this second period. The Bombers controlling most of the play here, just under 7 minutes into the second frame here. Cougars, much like last period, trying to turn this around. Alex Boner will take the face-off against Ryan Ross of the Bombers, but Boner will win it and dump it in for the chase, joined by Kellen Buckley and Lachlan O'Neill, his line mates. And sticking that puck in was the Cougars, barely keeping it in. Brandon Daleski, wearing number 26 in the blue uniforms. He played his first game of the season as an affiliate player for the Jonljim Cougars yesterday. He even got the rookie lap during the warm-ups. As he waits out front of the slot, he was open there, but the Bombers close off the passing lane and will come back down the other way. Isaac Swain leading the way for the team in white. And with that puck is Kellen Buckley. He went in one-on-one against Connor Grace. That's always a tough battle when you're going up against that defenseman Grace, one of the best in the league. Going for a skaze, Ryan Ross. He had a head of steam there as he went along the left side and then took a heavy body check from a Cougar. Looking at his options, it's Ty Bowden in down low. Bowden was in behind the net but had to go against a pair of Cougars who then take the puck down out the other way. The intended target of that pass is Ethan Marsh, but he was tied up in a battle with the defenseman, and the Bombers take it back out the other way toward the opposing blue line. Skating in is Cohen Little, off to his line mate Bowden and out the other way and chipped back in as Austin Reed took a tumble for the Bombers. And it's Reed on the puck going in there on the battle with Avery Johnston. It's a 2-on-2 along the boards trying to get that out. It was Cormier, but it's intercepted. Here comes Ethan Marsh in 1-on-2. He's turned on over the corner but dodges the check. Now he's joined by his line mates out the other side. Avery Johnston, Ty Timmins. Timmins is in the slot, but the puck is lost and it's back out the other way. Reed trying to get the dump in, but instead he is stopped in front of the timekeeper's bench, and almost every player in the ice piling up there trying to secure possession. Coming out with it is the captain, Sam Graves, leaves it off for McNeil. McNeil is sticked away there, a good stick by Miles McDaniel. Rimmed on around the boards. Will that be enough for an icing? No, it won't, but it'll be enough to buy both teams time for a line change. 11:34 here in the second period, still a 1-0 lead for the WearWell Bombers of New Glasgow. They're second place here in the Nova Scotia Under-15 Major Hockey League standings, and they have won 9 straight games in league play. The only time they have lost in that period was at the Monktonian Hockey Tournament here a couple of weekends ago in Moncton, New Brunswick. They were, however, 2-1 at that tournament, but it's a very cutthroat hockey tournament. A lot of teams involved in that one, not much room to make the crossovers, and even a 2-1 record for the Bombers wasn't enough to vault them into the crossover round at the Monktonian. However, the Cougars were 3-0 in their round-robin stage, playing in the Monktonian a couple of weeks ago. But even then, in their crossover game, they ran into the Gulls and lost by a score of 3-2, a very close game against the top team in the league, the Gulls of Upper Tantallon, as Wambach makes another save there. So it just goes to show how close this league can be at times. Not including the Monktonian record, though. A very positive weekend for the Cougars. Jonljim has lost 6 of their last 9 games, sporting a 4-4-3 record after that shootout loss yesterday at home to the Truro Bearcats. As the Bombers try to get the offense going here again in the Cougar zone. Blair Whittemore, the defenseman for the Bombers, is way down there. As Jackson McDonald curls up, tried to find his teammate on the far side, Connor Grace. McDonald and Connor Grace playing hot potato, passing that puck back and forth. Grace tried to force it to the net. Here's a shot, he scores! Spencer Anderson, and the way he's been firing that puck today, you knew it was coming, as it's a lethal shot from Anderson, the Bombers forward, and he will double the lead for the WearWell Bombers. And this is why this team is so dangerous. So many players on this club that can make stuff happen. In this case, it was Connor Grace finding Spencer Anderson alone out front. It's Anderson's 6th of the campaign. And that will give the Bombers an extra cushion here in this road game. A challenging road game coming off that 4-hour road trip from yesterday's game down in Halifax. Trying to come away with 4 points on the weekend and keep the good times rolling here and the win streak going. But the Cougars still have lots of time to turn this one around. We're only halfway through the second period here. Jonljim forces out, but only for half a second as Reed Frazier cuts in, but he can't get much on the shot. It's padded up and off the glass by Wambach. The Bombers putting up a battle. 2 players on 2 players there. Connor Grace lets it go. He can rip that puck too. Grace has 11 goals this season. Especially impressive for a defenseman. In points, he leads all players, all defensemen in the Under-15 Major Hockey League in scoring. That was his 26th point there of the campaign, picking up an assist on the Anderson goal. And the Bombers will try to get more fun going here as Ty Bowden is going in one-on-one with the puck against Linus Braun of the Cougars down the corner. The puck will come all the way back out to the point, but the Bombers hold the line for now. Braun will try to turn that around because it's up to his winger. That's Alex Boner forcing that across the line as the puck squirts out in front of the penalty box. And Connor Grace will jump on it. He steps through a pair of Cougars, drops off for Cohen Little. He didn't get all that in that shot, and the knuckle puck went wide. Trying to start this breakout is Linus Braun. Braun scoring plenty of points as well for this Cougars team from the blue line. He has 8 points in 11 games here this season as the puck is shot down the ice, but it is off a stick, the linesman signals, so there is no icing. But that leaves time for the Cougars captain, Sam Graves, to initiate this breakout. But it dies at center ice, and coming back the other way are the Bombers. And they've been doing that a lot today. A big part of their success is stifling any Cougars momentum in the neutral zone. And it happened right again there as it's back to the drawing board for the Cougars breakout in behind the net of Lane Wambach. Wambach has been strong today, has stopped 16 of 18 shots and counting. Has made some big saves, but this is a deadly Bombers offense that he and the team have to contend with, and they've shown it twice here this afternoon with Cohen Little and Spencer Anderson finding the back of the net here so far in this hockey game. It's 2-0 for the Bombers as that outlet passes up and off the mesh. Faceoff will come back towards center ice. It'll instead come to the neutral zone faceoff in front of the Cougars penalty box. Taking that faceoff for the Bombers is Jackson McDonald, and he'll win it. He's been good in the circle today. It's off the skate of the most recent goal scorer, Spencer Anderson, but it's on the wrong side of center ice, and the Bombers will be charged with an icing call. As mentioned, the Bombers battling for first place in the U15 Major Hockey League with the Gulls of Upper Tantallon. The Gulls won yesterday as well, so they retain first place in the league. As the Cougars try to get some momentum going here in the offensive zone. But back on the chase is Dylan Dixon on the Cougars blue line. Quickly pressured here by a pair of forecheckers here for the Bombers, but he forces the pass all the way up for Buckley, his teammate. Here's Lachlan O'Neill looking for that cross-ice pass. He lands it over to Dixon, and it's a big save there by Mason Gunn in the Bombers' net. Now on the rebound came out to Dixon. He couldn't force that one out as it was a good block there by Reed Frazier to keep that out of harm's way. And it's flung out the other way as Spencer Anderson missed the pass but picked it up. He's in one-on-one against Dylan Barry. Anderson will skate it all the way back around the other side of the net. Brandon Dulesky disrupts the rush, though, for the Bombers and gets the puck out to center ice where Lachlan O'Neill couldn't handle the pass. That was just a bit behind him. Come back the other way. Here's Connor Grace. Look out. Leads to Anderson. There's the shot! Almost in the exact same place that he scored just a few minutes ago on Wambach. But the netminder for the Cougars was ready for that one as he fought the blocker shot up off high into the mesh in behind his net, and the faceoff will come just off to his right. 6 minutes remaining in the second period here. Now 2-0 for the WearWell Bombers. Spencer Anderson scoring just a few minutes ago here. He almost had another, but a big save by Wambach. We've seen a few of those here today for the Cougars. Cycled back in the corner by Eli Woolley, wearing number 28 for the Bombers there, but loses possession over to the Cougars. They're going to force it up out in front of the players' benches. It's Avery Johnston coming in with a heavy hit. It's out there on that line with Ethan Marsh and Ty Timmins. Cougars short of forward. Cohen Geezer out of the lineup, of course, so they've had to cycle the lines here today, even with Dulesky in as the affiliate player. Woolley trying to get something going here beyond the net for the Bombers, but it rolls off the toe of his stick and goes back out, and Ethan Marsh will get into a foot race here along the boards. Marsh tried to get that pass out front. Avery Johnson was driving to the net, but he couldn't quite get it to him. Ty Timmins in front of the net, trying to force that toward the goaltender, but it's off a skate of a Bomber, and a hard defensive shift there for the WearWell Bombers to keep that going. It's a big forecheck there as well for late on the shift there for Ryan Ross, the Bombers forward there. He took a tumble as he went toward the bench. But the face-off will come back the other way as the Cougars ice the puck this time, with the face-off coming now to the right of Liam Wambach. Shots are 18-11 in favor of the WearWell Bombers. They've controlled most of this period so far and have a goal to show for it here in the middle frame. Face-off is won again by Cohen Little and the Bombers. But the Cougars will intercept and take it down low on the dump and chase. Luke McNeil leading that drive for the Cougars and is kept in the corner. Zenon Parks throws it back in deep. So Cougars can't quite establish here. They're throwing the puck back and forth while the Bombers are desperately trying to get a stick out. And in front of the net, back to McLeod, the defenseman. He fires that wide of the glove of Mason Gunn. And Parks tried to get it in close. He jammed away at it, and the goaltender couldn't cover up. So the puck is out back loose there again just for a second as Connor Grace will be forced to carry that puck back out for the Bombers here. Joined by Cohen Little. Gets that puck down, tried to find Grace up top. He'll swing toward the face-off dot, and it's off a body, and it's a very deceptive shot from the defenseman there, Connor Grace. But it is up, out of play, and out of harm's way for the Cougars for now. 3:57 remaining here in the second period. Good look there on that line. That Cougars line led by Zenon Parks. Out of players currently in the lineup right now, Zenon Parks leads the team in scoring. He has 10 points in 11 games, including 6 goals for this team. That leads the team in scoring, 6 goals. The leading scorer, as mentioned, Cohen Geezer, out of the lineup today. He's out on a lengthy suspension. After this game, he'll still have 7 more games to serve. So it'll be a while without him. The Cougars will continue having to rely on their second scoring if they want to find the back of the net here, and they haven't had any luck with that yet so far, as the Bombers, for the most part, have shut down the Cougars' offense. Not to mention some sharp goaltending when needed from Mason Gunn in net. Mason Gunn has 4 wins in 5 appearances this season, looking for a 6th, but there's still a lot of hockey to play until then. That could have been an icing against the Cougars, but it's off the referee at center ice, and it'll come back down the other way. That is Dylan Dixon, wearing number 4 for the Cougars on defense, trying to get that puck out. Only gets it about as far as center ice and in to the Bombers' end for a moment, but it's back up the other way. There's Spencer Anderson, the goal scorer, joined by Jackson McDonald. Anderson is going to loop back and examine his options. Another spin. He's been using that a lot today, and he spun him off a couple of times, but the Cougars will eventually get it up and out of the zone as Brandon Dulesky goes in, and he's going to draw a penalty. It's going to be a hooking call, it appears, against Connor Grace, the WearWell Bombers defenseman. And late in this period, the Jonljim Cougars will get a crucial power play opportunity as they try to find their way back into this hockey game before the second period flood. Ty Timmins will be out to take the face-off for this power play unit. Responding the other way, it's Cohen Little, tied for the league lead in scoring, but that's not going to stop him from the defensive penalty-killing responsibilities as well. The Cougars win the draw. Down for Dylan Barry of the Cougars. The Bombers went to clear it, but it is fired into their own bench. So the face-off will come right back to where it was 8 seconds ago, to the right of goaltender Mason Gunn. Timmins and Little taking this face-off again. And this time it is won by Cohen Little. It's cleared up the boards by Cormier, but held at the line by the defense. A big battle ensues there. There's a trio of Cougars in there as the puck comes to a freeze. And they finally force it out as Linus Braun gets it over to his D partner there, Sam Graves. And back to Braun. Braun makes a move. He has some daylight. Lets the shot go. It's off a pair of legs in front and wide. Recovering that puck is Barry. Barry now down, taking a heavy hit in the corner is Timmins. Timmins is joined by Avery Johnson, his fellow forward out there, but the clear misses Braun's stick and is down the ice as the Bombers get down the other way. First to the puck is Cohen Little, aggressive on the penalty kill here, and he'll just hold it to the boards and keep the puck from moving and try to kill off the rest of this clock here. There's a minute remaining on the Cougars power play. Little was down on the ice after that penalty kill there, and he'll have to stay out there for another minute as the Cougars gain an entry into the offensive zone. Graves spins off a pair of players and tried to find Ethan Marsh, but it was on the awkward backhand there, so the puck goes up and out of the zone once more. Marsh trying to get it down low. Cohen Little is caught out there on a long shift, the captain for this Bombers team, as he finally gets off the bench there. 30 seconds left on this Bombers penalty. Cougars power play. Cross-ice pass over to Ethan Marsh. He'll enter on the close side boards and try to get set up. He's in there in contention there as he is hit hard by Eli Woolley, the penalty killer for the Bombers, and that is enough to force the puck out here. With less than 10 seconds left in the power play, that should just about do it as we enter the final minute of the second period here in Member 2. Cougars trying to keep that momentum going. They had a couple of looks at the net, but it is covered up as it goes off the backside boards and rolls over to Mason Gunn, who will elect for the whistle and the face-off to his left shoulder. 51 seconds remaining in the second period. Now the Cougars are 0-2 on their power play opportunities here this afternoon. They've had a couple of shots looking in, but they'll get the Zenon Parks line to try and beat the goaltender Mason Gunn for a goal before the second period flood and maybe get some momentum going here for the home team. They're yet to find the back of the net here this afternoon as Linus Braun picks up the puck for the Cougars, but he's met with a heavy Bombers forecheck. The Bombers have been very good at that, both the forecheck and the neutral zone trap. As Cohen Little, the captain, tried to dance his way into the slot, maybe for a scoring chance, but he's denied. But it's back down to Little again. He tried to strip the defenseman of the puck, and stepping in, here comes Zenon Parks. He scores! Finds the 5-hole, and there's a big goal for the Cougars there as Zenon Parks buries his 7th of the season, picking off the pass from the Bombers and going in all alone and stuffing the backhand between the legs of Mason Gunn. And that is a big goal for the Cougars as they cut the lead in half. It is 2-1. And that's what he does best, to score for this Cougars team, Zenon Parks. The second leading scorer on this Jonljim Cougars club. The leading scorer, Cohen Geezer, is out of the lineup for a while, so it's players like him that really have to step up in games like this. And he has done just that, registering an all-important first goal for the Cougars late in this second period. Only 4 seconds left. Speaking of how late it is in the second period, only 4 seconds left in the middle frame. There will be a face-off to the right of the goaltender Mason Gunn. Lachlan O'Neill taking that face-off against White, and White wins it for the Bombers, and they will end off this second period. Up a goal. The WearWell Bombers are in the lead and in the driver's seat. We have goals today from Cohen Little in the first period and Spencer Anderson about midway through the second. But responding with the big one here to get the home fans going, Zenon Parks goes 5-hole on Mason Gunn to cut that lead to half. And after 2 periods of play, it is 2-1 in favor of the WearWell Bombers. After the flood, we'll be back for another 20 minutes of hockey, at least for the third period here in Member 2. And welcome back to Member 2 here on the high button for Nova Scotia Under 15 Major Hockey League action. The WearWell Bombers are hanging on to a 1-goal lead here after 2 periods of play. Goals coming from Cohen Little and Spencer Anderson on the Bombers side. Little striking midway through the first and Anderson midway through the second period. But just before the buzzer here at the end of the second period, Zenon Parks strikes to get the Jonljim Cougars on the board. And that's where we stand now after 2 periods of play here. It'll be a big period for both teams. WearWell trying to keep the winning streak going. They have won 9 in a row, including a win yesterday in Halifax. The Cougars trying to break up a slump, although they went 1-1 last weekend. They dropped a shootout matchup yesterday to the Truro Bearcats. And in this rare home stint here in Member 2, outside the Wriggler home rink in North Sydney, they'll try to treat the local fans here to a win, and they have 20 minutes or maybe a little more to do that as the Cougars win the face-off, and we're underway here in the third period. Coming out of that net to play that is the goaltender Mason Gunn. He stopped 13 shots directed here this way here this afternoon. The only one to beat him was Parks on that late second period goal. Brandon Daleski, the affiliate player for the Cougars, in there on that puck battle. Playing his first 2 games with the team here this weekend. He was in the lineup there yesterday and the shootout loss to the Cougars. To the Bearcats as the Cougars take it back out. Lean the rush up the other way is Kellen Buckley, who passed it off on the far side boards to his teammate Vinny Sims. Sims, the defenseman, will slap that back down into the zone. And hard up there on the forecheck is Alex Boner, joined there by his teammate Luke McNeil, making up this forward line for the Cougars. But now the Bombers will come back out the other way. Jackson McDonald, he has an assist today, will flip that into the pads of Lane Wambach, who's also had a busy afternoon. He's stopped 19 shots thus far, as the face-off will come off to his right. Face-off is won by Cohen Little, the centerman. Works it back to his defenseman, Connor Grace, who couldn't quite hold the line there as a pile-up of players forms in front of the Cougars bench. Leaned the way up the other way is Sam Graves, going east to west up the ice. The captain for the Cougars tried to get something going, but lost the puck to Spencer Anderson, who takes a check there from a Cougar. Graves coming back on the back check, will try to rim it up to his winger, but stopping him on the boards is the opposing captain, Cohen Little, for the Bombers. And it's the cross-ice pass there, out of the reach of Avery Johnston. The icing is waved off, and out of the net to play the puck is Mason Gunn, the goaltender. Stretch pass all the way back up. Spencer Anderson tried to one-touch it to his teammate Little. Instead, Anderson will go in on his own against the defenseman, trying to break up the play. Cohen Little curls around in the corner where the referee is, targeting his defenseman up the middle. Spencer Anderson forces a turnover. Now here comes Cohen Little over to Reed. Back to Little, and ready for that all the way in was Wambach. He's made some important saves here this afternoon, and that was no exception there in close. The Cougars trying to force that one out of the zone. It's a long shift for both forward lines, and jumping up there with the head of steam was Alex Boner, but he couldn't go too much further with it. Attempting to enter the zone was Ryan Ross, but he was stopped at the opposing blue line. Zenon Parks, the goal scorer, will try to get something going here, going up the right side boards and close. He's intercepted as Reed, the winger for the Bombers, had the puck on a stick, but he was paired up with 2 Cougars there who forced the turnover. Linus Braun out there looking for the stretch pass, but nobody is home, and on the icing, the face-off will go all the way back down to the Cougar zone. face off to the left of Lane Wambach here. And that draws one by Ross of the Bombers, but it's off Ross and outside the zone. The team will have to backpedal to center ice. It's Connor Grace with the outlet pass. He was behind the red line, but it was off a stick, so no icing. And comes out to Grace at center ice. He's challenged by Kellen Buckley, and walking in with it now is Dulesky. Brand Dulesky lets the shot go, chases his own rebound as it came in and out of the glove of Mason Gunn, and that was a good opportunity here for the new guy on the block, or the Cougars, and Dulesky follows up that scoring opportunity with a big hit there at center ice toward the penalty box. Coming in just onside is Braun. Linus Braun tries to curl and twist in toward the net, and it floated through the goaltender crease of Mason Gunn, but it floats out of harm's way and up to Jackson McDonald, going back up the other way. Sam Graves takes the puck back for the Cougars over to Kellen Buckley. Buckley lets the shot go. It's off a stick, and controlling a tricky knuckle puck there was Mason Gunn as he settled it down for the save and the face-off just off to his right. Ty Timmons taking the draw in the O-zone for the Cougars, but he'll lose it to Jackson McDonald. The Bombers coming back out with the puck. Cormier, he had the backpedal there and lost possession going off his stick, but finally controlled as Cormier gets some time and space behind the net, but it's off a stick. The giveaway to Ethan Marsh. Here's the shot. Ready for that save was Gunn, forcing off a high shot off the shoulder, and it's back the other way now for Jackson McDonald. McDonald, Fraser stays on side and takes the pass. Here's Fraser. The stick is lifted and he's going to get called. Sam Graves will go to the box for the Cougars. It's a hooking minor. And back to the power play come the WearWell Bombers here in just a moment on the high button. The Cougars captain, Sam Graves, is a competitor. He was not happy about that one. Looked like a stick lift, but the referee deemed it was perhaps a little too close to the hands, and it's enough to send the Bombers back to the power play. Connor Grace at the top of the point to Brett Cormier. Lets a high shot go. I don't know if Wambach saw that, but it didn't matter as it rolled up over the net and out back toward the Bomber zone, and Connor Grace has to quarterback the breakout again from behind his own net. He gets it back up into the zone of the other team as it's flung up high off the boards. Dylan Berry tried to force it out for the Killers, but the Bombers hold the line, led by Cormier. Brett Cormier out there with Jackson McDonald, switching between point and high slot. Connor Grace also out there as well, controlling the umbrella. Cohen Little, the captain, is parked in the slot as Grace will try to sneak in. He scores! Oh, what a setup! And it's restoring that 2-goal lead is Ty Bowden, who finds the back of the net, but that one was all Connor Grace. He scores a lot. As mentioned, leads the league in blue line scoring, and he has 2 assists today, the latest one on a beauty of a pass to Ty Bowden, who will score his 7th goal of the season here. And once again, the Bombers lead by 2 goals, this time striking on the power play. And that was some razzle-dazzle there from Connor Grace, who just needed enough room to sneak in under the goal line. And all alone there was Bowden. Bowden is, and that's why he's out there on that WearWell Bombers power play, because he can really establish space for himself and the big body to fight with anybody. As Brett Cormier steps in, he had a little bit of room there, but elects to go in behind the net. Establishes the zone entry as Whittemore tried to get that shot through a crowd of about 4 players there, and it's off one of them and stays in. But stepping in is Cormier. Cormier has some time space to make a play. Looking out front was his teammate, Clayton McIntosh, who couldn't manage the pass. Working with the stick handle on the far side, Spencer Anderson. He has a goal today, but the pass is broken up by the Cougars as Alex Boner is looking for the go-ahead pass, but it's off a skate and back the other way. He's joined on that line with Zenon Parks, as well as Luke McNeil, his teammate. Linus Braun going D to D, but it's off the back of the net to Spencer Anderson. He forces a turnover, looking on the slip pass, and it's dropped back there. Connor Grace jumping back out into the ice. He can shoot that puck as well, but his shot is just far of the wide post. And now the puck is up and into the crowd here in member 2, as we will see a face-off in the neutral zone just in front of the WearWell Bombers bench. And the Bombers restoring that 2-goal lead just moments ago. Ty Bowden striking on the power play and making this game 3-1 for the high-flying Bombers, looking to win their 10th straight league game here. But the Cougars might have something to say about that. Ty Timmins taking the puck in on the zone entry, but it's a one and done here, as Cohen Little leads a breakout back up across center ice and out the other way. And he is first in on his own dump on the dump and chase. The captain for this Bombers team, Cohen Little, he has a goal today, and he's also tied for the league lead in scoring. Back to Elijah Little. That's off a set of shin pads, and forcing the backhand in is Woolley from the net for the Bombers, but it's off a pair of legs and wide again as Ty Timmins takes the rush the other way, looking for that cross-ice pass to Ethan Marsh, but it is wide. And Connor Grace will take the puck out the other way to Cohen Little. Little curls in, lets the snapper go from long. It's off a leg and wide. Cougars trying to move this play back up the other way. Brandon Dulesky takes that himself out of the zone and gets it up to O'Neill. Here's a shot from Lachlan O'Neill. It was a deceptive one through a player, but Mason Gunn was ready for it all the way in as he scoops it up in the glove for the faceoff. 12:05 left in this third period. The Bombers hanging on to a 2-goal lead, trying to come away with a 4-point weekend here on the road away from the Pictou Wellness Center. They were in Halifax yesterday, beat the Wolverines 4-3, and now they lead 3-1 against the Jonljim Cougars here in member 2. But still lots of hockey to play here yet. Sam Graves of the Cougars chips it in back low, forcing Eli Woolley to get this breakout started. For the Bombers, here they come. Jackson McDonald, he can skate like the wind, and with the head of steam, he is first on that battle with the defenseman for the Cougars. Gets it back to Connor Grace. Here's the shot, he scores! There's another goal from the Bombers here as they're trying to pry the gates open here. It's a Miles McDaniel shot that gets through, and it looks like he'll get credit for the goal there as the point shot flutters through and finds its way past the goaltender Lane Wambach. And now the Bombers are up by a score of 4-1 with a couple of quick ones here early in the third period. And the Bombers are showing us why they have such a lethal blue line in the offensive department. Connor Grace, of course, is the prime example of that with the puck now. He has 2 assists today, and now joining him on the score sheet is his D partner, Miles McDaniel, who makes the score 4-1. As Clayton McIntosh walks through a couple of players here for the Bombers. He tried to do some fancy maneuvers there on the backhand, but lost it and couldn't quite make that into some sort of result. Isaac Swain forechecking there for the Bombers, and he'll force it to his teammate Spencer Anderson, who dumps it in back deep as the Cougars are caught in on a bit of a sloppy defensive shift here. The puck is airmailed up towards center ice and taken back from the Cougars, with the Bombers dumping it in again as Swain is in on the chase. Trying to break this puck out is Marnie McLeod, the defenseman for the Cougars. McLeod gets it back and he's going to go for a skate. It is fluttered in right on net to the goaltender. Mason Gunn will play it off to his defenseman. High up the glass there. Bombers getting that one back out to the red line as Barry shoots it back in response, and both teams will get in a change. Cougars caught on a bit of a long shift there, so they were especially happy to get up off the ice as they tried to turn the tables again. One of those players being Zenon Parks, the goal scorer, back out on the ice now with his line mate. It's Marsh helping him out over on the close side corner, but loses the puck again to the Bombers. Spencer Anderson, he has the goal today. He's going to cut in looking for another. Tries to get the backhand in. He won't score as Wambach makes the save, but he will draw a penalty. It's a hooking call against the Cougars. And back to the power play is the Bombers here as we just get under the midway point of this third period here in Member 2. The Bombers are 1 for 2 on the man advantage today. The most recent goal on the power play coming off the stick of Ty Bowden in front of the net off a beautiful setup by Connor Grace. And Grace is out there again on this power play with Brett Cormier's defensive partner. Cormier can't hold the line though, however, and Connor Grace will have to come back him up at his own blue line. Cormier will lead the break-in. He's out there with Swain. Brett Cormier cutting in close. He's going to go for a lap in behind the Cougars' net. And it's an errant pass from Spencer Anderson, and he knew it, and that'll force his team offside and force a face-off in the neutral zone in front of the Cougars bench. 1:35 left here on this power play to the Bombers. Dylan Dixon is the guilty party this time for the Cougars. He took a hooking call there as Spencer Anderson had gone in on a scoring chance. As Cormier leads the rush in for the Bombers, he'll gain zone entry, but not without some resistance from Sam Graves, the Cougars captain. A very aggressive penalty killer and player overall. Spencer Anderson sells it down for the Bombers. Connor Grace, high slot, looking to get on the score sheet in the goals column here. He has 2 assists today, but that shot is high over the net as it's a 2-on-2 battle in behind the net. There's a trio of Bombers in there trying to get that puck moving as we're halfway through this power play for WearWell. And it's still frozen in behind Lane Wambach's net. No whistle from the referee yet, but that puck is not moving. Some sticks there from the Cougars. Great penalty killing here from the Cougars here, holding that puck to a stop. And finally fishing it out is Anderson for the Bombers. Here comes Connor Grace over to Cormier. Brett Cormier at the top of the circle. Back to Grace in the slot. Cormier had some daylight on that open net. The rebound, scores! Spencer Anderson will bury that one home, catching a sliding Lane Wambach off guard. And that'll be Anderson's 2nd of the game and 7th of the season, as it's another power play marker for the Bombers here this afternoon, and that will extend the Bombers' lead up to 5-1 as they're starting to run up the goal column here toward the end of this third period here in Member 2. Spencer Anderson, yet again, he had a goal in the second period. A very good shooter, but he didn't need the fanciest shot in the world to score that time as he caught the goaltender Wambach sliding. It was enough to make it 5-1 as Jackson McDonald leads the rush up the other way, trying to get in on the action here with the Bombers, as this is what they're known for, their offense breaking out. The last time these teams met 3 weeks ago in New Glasgow, it was the Bombers winning by a score of 9-1, and now they find themselves up 5-1 here on the road, as it's off a skate out here in front. Ty Bowden, who has a goal today, parked in front of that Cougars net. Going in tight is Jackson McDonald, trying to see if he could fool Lane Wambach on the short side. But Wambach will make the save, with the face-off coming just to his right here. The Bombers have really come into this third period looking to find the back of that net. They were up 2-1 after 2 periods of play, but they have struck 3 times here in the first 12.5 minutes of this third period, and they find themselves up 5-1 as a result. As they get the puck in close, it's Woolley trying to force that opportunity by Wambach, but the puck doesn't quite get to the net as Dylan Dixon leads the rush the other way for the Cougars. Maybe get some life going for the Great Mountain of a comeback if they want to get it. Reed holds the line onside for the Bombers as they came back on their own rush the other way, but now the Cougars will take it toward the Bombers' net. Avery Johnson had the puck for a second, but Jonljim will have to retreat to the blue line and try again. Intercepted at center ice by Dixon. He'll go on the dump and chase. Ethan Marsh lean that forecheck. It's off the stick of Woolley at center ice for the Bombers, and both teams will get some changes in as wheeling out of the zone is Sam Graves, and he's tripped up. And going back to the power play is the Jonljim Cougars. They're 0 for 2 so far here today. The captain, Sam Graves, tripped up at his own blue line. Looks like the captain of the Bombers, Cohen Little, will be charged with that tripping minor. And here's a chance for the Cougars to get back into this hockey game here. They don't have much time to do it. Only 6:40 left in regulation. The faceoff was won by the Bombers, but the Cougars forced the puck back. Ty Timmins waiting in pursuit of the puck there. There are a trio of Bombers down the corner. Walking out of the corner is a great opportunity by Graves. Tried to go shimmy shake on the goalie Mason Gunn, but he's ready for that save, and the puck is cleared out by his Bombers teammates. Great opportunity and close by Sam Graves, but nothing to show for it here as the Cougars have to start again from their own zone. Avery Johnston finds his way into the zone. Got his stick up high and fought that off. Back to Linus Braun. He holds the puck into the zone. And stepping in, here's the shot. And without a stick in the crease, Mason Gunn made the save to force the face-off off to his right. 5:58 left here in regulation. Another minute 18 left on this Cohen Little minor penalty. He took a trip as the Cougars try to make show of this power play, perhaps work their way back into the game, although they currently trail by 4 goals. It's been a big third period for the Bombers. They've scored thrice, and they sit with the 5-1 lead. As McLeod walks in, he has some room there. It's off a body. Mason Gunn got just enough of the glove on it, and lucky for him, it fell flat right in front of his defenseman, who will shoot it the length of the ice down. 54 seconds left on this Cougars power play. Lachlan O'Neill enters the zone. He had a wide open Buckley on the far side, but he missed the pass and will pay for it as it's dumped down to the opposing end again by the Bombers. Now 35 seconds remaining on this power play. It's up the far side as Ethan Marsh will lead the zone entry for the Cougars. He goes in against a big body in Miles McDaniel. McDaniel has one of those goals, the defenseman for the Bombers here in this third period. Outlet pass to center ice, up to O'Neill. Up to Zenon Parks. Parks, the lone goal scorer for the Cougars here this afternoon. He scored late in the second period. Leaves off for Alex Boner, his teammate. Boner buys some time, but only 5 seconds left on the penalty. Here's McLeod, the shot. Tried to find Parks on the back door, but he wasn't quite there as Cohen Little jumps onto the ice to end the penalty kill for this team, and we're back to 5-on-5 action. The Cougars now 0 for 3 on the man advantage this afternoon as Isaac Swain walks in. It's off the skate of the defenseman Braun and falls out of play as the clear from the Cougars defenseman Marty McLeod is up off the glass and into his own bench, and that'll force a face-off back in the zone. 4 minutes and 20 seconds left here in regulation. The Bombers with a comfortable 5-1 lead here, trying to win their 10th game in a row in league action and 12th of their last 13, including all games dating back to the Monktonian tournament a couple of weeks ago, where the Bombers were 2-1. As Jackson McDonald twists around, he gets a stick up in the arms. No call on the play. McDonald, a very quick player, both in straight ahead speed and deception and dekes. As McDonald on the pass. Oh, what a setup there. He had his teammate Austin Reed wide open with an open net, but he fanned on the shot as it goes back the other way. Deleski sets up Zenon Parks, but is out of his reach. The Cougars tried to get a scoring opportunity going there. Here comes Parks. Parks walks around a player looking for some room to get the shot, but closely pursued there by the defenseman Connor Grace, who steers it off into the corner and back the other way. Austin Reed was the recipient of the pass at center ice as the teams play hot potato with the puck here. Back and forth in the neutral zone. Stepping in now is McIntosh. Clayton McIntosh of the Bombers made a move around one player. He's showing a couple of good dekes here this afternoon. And taking a big hit along the boards, Avery Johnston, but he skates through it, trying to get on the puck there, and is taken out by Brett Cormier, the Bombers defenseman. But he gets some help there in the corner by his teammate Luke McNeil. McNeil throws a hit for the Cougars down in the opposing zone, but it's not enough to keep the puck on their sticks. as Sam Graves is forced back to center ice for the Cougars with time winding down. We are under the 3-minute mark here in the third period. It's unlikely, but the Cougars working hard to try and get that comeback going here late in this hockey game. Cougars trying to avoid losing their 7th game in their last 10 appearances, rather. As Jonljim takes it back out the other way. Luke McNeil finds the far side pass for Ty Timmins off a skate right in front of the goal crease there. McNeil let a stick on it, but the goaltender knocked it out of harm's way as Spencer Anderson takes it back up the other way. Anderson looking for the hat trick. He has 2 this afternoon here for the Bombers. A big part of this offensive explosion here in the third period that has all but put this game out of reach. Avery Johnston trying to get something going here for the Cougars down the other end. Keeping an eye on the goaltender Wambach out in the Cougars net, but he's hanging tight in his net, so I don't think we'll see the extra attacker out here anytime soon here for the Cougars. Puck is gloved down by Marty McLeod. McLeod skating the puck out for the Cougars right up the middle of the ice. He'll take it himself out to the other zone. Going along the close side boards, tries to get a tight shot, but playing his angle well is Mason Gunn. Gunn has been excellent today for the Bombers, giving his team lots of peace of mind, making 23 saves so far between the pipes. As O'Neill of the Cougars got in the battle on that board and lost it to the Bombers, as Cohen Little trying to get a little more action going here for his team. As Parks breaks it in the zone with 1 minute left here in the third period. So teams will pretty well wind down the clock here. Walking in is Cohen Little, perhaps looking for one more goal before this game is out. Little got the stick on it. Came to a traffic jam out there in the slot in front of the Cougars net as Alex Boner enters the zone for the Cougars and takes a check down in the close side boards. Good battle there as Zenon Parks threw the puck out front on the centering pass, but nobody was home. And that's off a body and out as Isaac Swain takes care of business and dumps it in with only 20 seconds left here on the clock. The Cougars look around. It's an air pass intended for Boner. That didn't quite make it all the way. It was stopped up at the blue line with Braun taking it in behind the net. And there you have it, moving back into first place here in the Nova Scotia Under-15 Major League. The WearWell Bombers win their 10th in a row in league play. Taking command here in the third period. Cohen Little, Spencer Anderson with 2, Ty Bowden, and Miles McDaniel with the goals here today for the WearWell Bombers, winning their 10th game in a row here and moving in the first place in the Nova Scotia Under-15 Major Hockey League standings, completing a very difficult road trip here this weekend in style as they come away with the full 4 points this weekend on the road, this time in Member 2, beating the Jonljim Cougars. Well, thank you for joining us here this afternoon on High Button Sports. My name is Luke Diamond. It was a pleasure to help bring you this game here this afternoon. We hope to see you here next time, here from Member 2 on the High Button Sports.